Latest on Hurricane Florence, which is continuing to intensify at this time, now with winds of 80 miles per hour and a pressure of 978 millibars. It's at 24.4 north, 56.8 degrees west at 3 p.m. Eastern Time this September 9th. The storm is currently located here, as you can see on the graphic. It's now a stage 3 on the CDPS scale, which means significant damage is possible, and that rating is likely to rise as the storm continues to grow in strength and size. These are the distances in miles to selected locations: 727 miles from Bermuda, 1437 miles from Wilmington, and over 1500 still to Charleston. There's still a very long way for Florence to go before it impacts the United States. No warnings are in effect at this time, but obviously we are getting prepared for the storm's effects along the eastern seaboard of the United States over the next few days. No warnings will go into effect for at least another day or two. So this is what the latest GFS model is saying, and it's rather interesting, I have to say. This is the storm progressing into the new week, and you can see it there moving well south, clear of Bermuda, and then towards the northwest. Now this is just one scenario, but for some reason now the GFS in the latest update is saying that the storm will reach the Outer Banks, stop, and then turn round, which I think is rather curious. But other models are saying differently, and some of them are taking the storm straight into land, and that is still what the National Hurricane Center is saying. These are the sea surface temperatures, around 28 to 29 degrees all the way up to land. You can see live temperatures on the US East Coast as well, ranging from 19 in the Boston area to 29 inland in North Carolina. And over the next few days you can see how the storm progresses again on this wind graphic. Now you can see the tropical storm force winds staying well clear of Bermuda and edging closer to the US. This is Tuesday into Wednesday, and now the National Hurricane Center thinks it's going to be later on Thursday that the landfall will occur, and in this case the GFS has the storm impacting the North Carolina Outer Banks and then moving back towards the south again. That is a possibility, not to say it's likely just yet. These are now the percentage chances of tropical storm force winds in the next 5 days: an 84% chance in Wilmington, 77 at Myrtle Beach, and 72 at Cape Hatteras, down to 35% at Charleston and 22% in Washington, D.C. So let's take a look at what the models are doing in the latest update. You already saw the GFS, here's a few others. The HMON now wants the storm to get very close to Category 5 intensity, so does the CTCX, but the consensus still lies at low to mid-range Category 4, and that's because this wind shear is very low over the next few days until at least the 12th, when it's likely to rise again. And there's the model consensus on the left-hand side, where they're all expected to go, ranging from the CTCX further south and the GFS furthest north. The trend is still shifting slightly further to the north in the last 6 hours. This is how Florence actually looks in the update here, and you can see how it's been developing. Looks very good on visible, not quite as good on the infrared. Reconnaissance planes are in and around the storm, and the latest update, we expect the National Hurricane Center will up this storm to 80 miles per hour and around a pressure of 978. It could be a little bit different than what we're saying here, but that is the latest information that we've got. It won't make much of a difference. The storm is still expected to get to major hurricane status on its approach to the US this week. You can follow Force 13's outlets, the website force13.com, with the latest. You can also find our YouTube page. You're probably there already, but if not, subscribe if you haven't so far. You can also find our Facebook page, Force 13 all in text, and it's at Force 13 on Twitter if you'd like to get in touch with us on there. You can also help the project become even better by enjoying the benefits of patronage. You can find out more information about how to become a patron and what those benefits are at patreon.com/Force13. You can also add my personal account on Discord, Fool13 at extension 9094, and Force13 on Skype. We also have a new server on Discord. You can find a link in the community tab.